Right now, while you're watching this, someone is making five figures a month from something that didn't exist 5 years ago. And the financial industry doesn't want you to know about it because these side hustles don't require their products, their advice, or their permission. I'm breaking down 7 income streams that the wealthy have been quietly using to multiply their money while traditional finance tells you to just save more, invest in index funds, and be patient. Today is July 2026. The market is in flux. The Fed is split on interest rates. And honestly, that's exactly when alternative income streams matter most. Look, we know the economy right now is complicated. The S&P 500 is up just 1.1% this month. Gold is down 4.2%. People are anxious, and that anxiety has created opportunities, but only if you know where to look. The difference between someone making $3,000 extra per month and someone stuck at their day job salary isn't luck or education. It's knowing about channels of income that mainstream finance simply ignores. Let's get into it. The first forbidden hustle: micro niche content creation and monetization. Forget the advice about starting a YouTube channel in a broad niche. That doesn't work anymore. What works right now in 2026 is micro niche content creation, finding extremely specific audiences with problems and becoming their go-to person. I'm talking about the person who teaches 40-year-old women how to start an e-commerce business selling sustainable pet products, or the person who creates TikTok and YouTube content specifically for dental hygienists who want to transition to business ownership. Here's why this is forbidden. It doesn't fit the traditional influencer playbook. You're not trying to be famous. You're not trying to build a massive audience. You're trying to build a specific, dedicated tribe. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and even emerging platforms in 2026 have affiliate programs, sponsorship opportunities, and ad revenue systems that reward specificity. If you can get 10,000 highly engaged followers in a micro niche, you can generate $3,000 to $8,000 per month through sponsorships alone. And that's before you launch digital products. The real money isn't in the content. It's in what you sell to the audience behind the content: a product, a course, a coaching program. The wealthiest creators aren't YouTube famous. They're people who built direct relationships with their specific audience and now sell directly to them. That could be you starting right now. Pick a niche where people are already spending money, become the expert, and monetize through multiple channels. The second forbidden hustle: real estate wholesaling without capital. This is the one that actually makes estate agents and traditional real estate people uncomfortable. Real estate wholesaling means you're the middleman between a seller who needs to sell fast and a buyer looking for a deal. You don't need to own the property. You don't need a down payment. You need information, relationships, and contract skills. Here's how it works. You find a property that's distressed. Maybe it's a foreclosure. Maybe it's owned by someone going through a divorce or health crisis. Maybe it's just outdated and needs work. You go under contract with the seller at a price below market value. Then you sell that contract to an actual buyer, usually a house flipper or an investor, for a higher price. You keep the difference as your wholesale fee. In today's market, that's typically $10,000 to $30,000 per deal. Now, in 2026, the real estate market is weird. Some homes aren't selling because of outdated listings and poor marketing. That's actually creating more opportunity for wholesalers who can help move those properties. The key is building relationships with real estate investors in your area who are looking for deals. You need cash buyers, not necessarily capital of your own. This requires learning your local market, understanding contract law, and building a network. But it's one of the highest leverage side hustles available. A single deal could pay you more than a year of side hustle work from other channels. The reason the wealthy don't publicize this? Because they want the deals for themselves. The third forbidden hustle: data and privacy arbitrage. This is newer and it's growing in 2026. People are starting to realize their data has value, and there's an entire emerging ecosystem around selling it ethically. Companies are desperate for first-party data, actual information about real people who actually want their products. The traditional way they get this is through Facebook ads and Google ads. But there's a more direct route. You can build audiences, capture their information legitimately, and sell access to that data to companies looking for customers. This works through surveys, lead generation pages, or audience building communities. Platforms like Lead Pages and various API integrations in 2026 make this more accessible than ever. Some people are making $500 to $3,000 per month by building simple lead generation assets that capture specific types of people. Homeowners interested in solar panels, small business owners looking for accounting software, whatever, you're not scamming anyone. You're connecting people with products they actually need. You're building an asset that generates recurring revenue. That's why it's forbidden. It removes the middleman and cuts out advertising platforms entirely. The fourth forbidden hustle: skill stacking and fractional work. Here's something most people don't understand. You don't need to be an expert at one thing. You need to be good at two or three things together. That combination becomes rare and valuable. In 2026, companies are increasingly hiring fractional workers, people who work 10 to 20 hours per week on specific projects instead of full-time employees. Imagine you're a decent writer and you know Zapier automation, and you understand basic marketing. That combination is worth $75 to $150 per hour as a fractional marketing operations specialist. Or you understand financial modeling. You know how to use AI tools like Claude and ChatGPT effectively, and you can communicate clearly. That's a fractional CFO role. Companies need these people desperately, but they don't need them full-time. You can build a fractional business with 3 to 5 clients paying you $3,000 to $5,000 per month each, working fewer hours than a full-time job, and having actual flexibility. Platforms like Upwork and Fancy have gotten much better at connecting fractional workers with serious clients. The wealthy have been doing this for years. They call it consulting. You can too. It starts with auditing what skills you have and what combination of those skills solves a real problem. The fifth forbidden hustle: royalty and licensing streams. This one blows people's minds when they understand it. You can create something once and get paid repeatedly. Not just digital courses, I'm talking about actual royalties. Write a niche book on Amazon KDP, license photography or music, create templates, spreadsheets, or tools and sell licenses. Even sell your writing to content agencies that resell it multiple times. In 2026, the tools to do this are absurdly accessible. You can publish a book in a week. You can create stock templates in Notion and sell them for $20 to $50 each. You can license music to video creators. Some of the wealthiest people started with royalty streams. They built something once and let it work in the background for decades. The average niche book might generate $200 to $500 per month in royalties. But if you have 5 books, that's $1,000 to $2,500 in passive income. Add in template sales and licensing, and suddenly you've got multiple revenue streams generating money while you sleep. Why don't more people do this? Because it requires thinking like an asset builder instead of a service provider. The sixth forbidden hustle: market inefficiency trading. I want to be careful here because this one requires skill and carries real risk. But in 2026, there are still inefficiencies in markets that traders exploit for consistent income. I'm not talking about day trading meme stocks. I'm talking about option strategies, arbitrage opportunities, and volatility plays that generate income. With the current market volatility, the Nasdaq up 0.5% this month, mixed signals from the Fed about interest rates, there's actual opportunity here. Covered call strategies, iron condors, and spread trading can generate consistent monthly income if you know what you're doing. Some people are making $2,000 to $8,000 per month from disciplined trading strategies. The barrier here is knowledge. You need to understand options, market mechanics, and risk management. This isn't forbidden because it's secret. It's forbidden because most financial advisors make more money if you just invest in index funds passively. But if you're willing to learn, there's real money here. Start with small account sizes, follow strict risk rules, and treat it like a business. The seventh forbidden hustle: community building and membership models. This is the meta layer of everything else. The real money in any space flows to the person who builds the community, and becomes the trusted authority. That's why I'm here talking to you right now. By aggregating an audience around a specific topic, you create leverage for everything else. In 2026, membership and community platforms like Circle, Mighty Networks, and specialized Discord communities are exploding. People pay $20 to $200 per month to be part of communities that deliver real value. If you build a community of just 100 members paying $50 per month, that's $60,000 per year. At 500 members, that's $300,000 per year. One person. Recurring revenue. The key is solving a real problem for a specific group. A community for freelancers trying to raise their rates. A community for women entrepreneurs. A community for people trying to exit corporate jobs. You're not just selling information. You're selling access to a network, peer accountability, and direct access to expertise. People will pay for that if it actually delivers results. This is forbidden because it requires you to think like a business owner, not an employee. It requires direct relationships with customers instead of relying on algorithms or bosses. But once you understand this model, you never think about side income the same way again. The real risk factor you need to understand. Here's the truth that nobody wants to admit. All of these work, but they all have risk. Not financial risk necessarily, operational risk, time risk, reputation risk. Real estate wholesaling requires integrity and relationship building. Trading requires discipline and can result in losses. Content creation requires consistency and patience. Membership communities require actual value delivery. The difference between someone who succeeds with these and someone who doesn't isn't intelligence or luck. It's whether they're willing to be uncomfortable, learn something new, and stick with it when the first month makes $0. The wealthy understand this. They expect the first attempt to fail. They iterate. They adjust. That's the real forbidden knowledge. Also, in today's economic climate with mixed signals from the Fed and uncertain interest rates, some of these strategies are more relevant than others. Trading strategies matter more in volatile markets like we're experiencing in 2026. Real estate strategies matter more when traditional housing markets are struggling like they are right now. Choose the one that matches your current situation and market conditions. Your next move. Pick one. Just one. Don't try to launch all 7 simultaneously. That's how people burn out and fail. Look at which one aligns with skills you already have or want to develop, which one matches your time availability, and which one genuinely interests you. Because the most profitable side hustle is the one you'll actually stick with for 6 to 12 months. If you want a framework for choosing, I'm going to put a decision tree in the community section below. Tell me in the comments which of these 7 you're going to try first. And if you found this valuable, please subscribe. We're releasing deep dives on each of these strategies individually over the next few weeks. The wealthy aren't keeping secrets. They're just playing a different game than everyone else. Now you know the game. What you do next is entirely up to you.